5 on your ass, don't get stuck. My shit blasting up. Window tinted, can't get caught. My bitch bad, sport more leave you on your ass, taking up.
I already did my introduction, so I'm gonna go ahead and allow you to give an introduction to yourself, my guy. So let them know where they can find you. You know, give them your name.
All right. Name SSJ Lang. You can find me on YouTube at SSJ Lang. You can find me on Instagram at SSJ.Lang. Twitter, SSJ underscore Lang. Just pretty much anywhere you can look. SSJ Lang. Yeah.
I feel it, man. So you want to give the background behind this SSJ?
Man, it stands for Super Fan. Straight up. It's got two initials that are in my whole name anyway, but it just stands for Super Fan, which became a mindset for me when I was like 16, 17.
I feel it, and
Yeah.
I think like I forgot about that was like Super Saiyan. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this will kind of tie into the episode as well. I feel like Cole kind of went Super Saiyan on this album. What you kind of think?
Okay, yeah, I'm finna say my boy did his thing on there. I'm not gonna lie. My boy did his thing on there. I think Fall Off is 30 tracks, right?
Yeah, 30
Yeah, 30
tracks.
tracks. This one, this two. I gotta ask, which one you think is better?
In all honesty, bro, after about listening to it for a month, this too. This
This
two,
two. I
this two
agree.
was my favorite from the jump. Like first
Yeah.
listen, I was like, I don't really like it. And my homie
Yeah.
was trying to convince me. He was like, no, bro, this one got some hits. It got some hits. And I was like, okay. After about like the sixth listen, I was like, okay, I can see it. But yeah. But yeah, that's exactly like actually the opening topic I was thinking, like this one or this two. And would you feel like, because I feel like Cole has been promoting this for almost like a decade.
Man, what?
Do you feel like this album actually lived up to the hype that he put towards it?
Do I feel all off to a decade's worth of hype? No. I'm not gonna say it does. Because I mean, one thing that he points to is he's done making J. Cole albums, which is everybody's point, like, you're gonna go under a new name, you done rapping, like what we talking about. But I feel like this one itself, there are a lot of tracks in it that make it like there are tracks in unnecessary. It's like, you could have made it hit harder on the less is more situation if you took like a few tracks off there. Because when we get to this too, immediately I'm like, okay, hold on, like this is what I was looking for, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I was like, this too is a Cole album. Like, if we're talking
Yeah,
about you not trying to make these Cole albums, like this too was the album, at least that I was looking for, in my
yeah.
opinion. But I think like I only say that just because I really enjoyed like KOD and I really enjoyed the off season.
Off season was underrated. I
Bro,
love KLD too, but off season was great, bro.
man, listen to this. So freaking I started to go back into his catalog after hearing the
Hmm.
fall off. I was like, all right, I've already listened to this like three times. I need to listen to something different. And I was like, I enjoyed the fall or the off
Right.
season. So I was like, let me go ahead and jump back into that. And I was like, I don't know if I could put the off season over this one. Or I don't know if I could put the fall off over off season. Because off season was like flawless. Like
Off season was crazy. Like a lot of people kind of shitted on off season for no reason, which I never understood because there are still songs from off season that I love to play today, like "Let Go My Hand" and so on and so forth. That interlude is still one of his best interludes too, off the off season.
that's a fact. One song that just like sticks out every time I think about off season is the 100 mil. 100 mil, and I'm still on the grind.
Yeah, who did his thing on that one too. Off season just got a good lot of good hits, bro. And we over here talking about the off season. We supposed to be talking about the fall off. That kind of tell you what you need to know.
Don't even matter. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's just like one of those things to where I
Mhm.
feel like it's like he really like hyped us up for over a year and like all these feature runs that he went on for like the last couple of years, wait for the fall off this.
Yeah.
And like I remember when I first heard it, I was like, damn, like I know Cole said he had like six different renditions of this album. So I'm like, out of the six, like when did you realize like maybe I should like stop here and then like
Yeah.
keep it progressing?
That is a because dang, the six you decided 2-track album like on some Mr. Morale. This one, this two. I don't know. I still feel like this is just one of those things that could have been less is more. That would have had way more impact on it
That's a fact.
because it's like it's like that decade's worth of hype that he put up. I felt like he got in his own head about it, and he felt like he had to do a quantity over quality thing.
Yeah, man. And I thought that was funny, like thinking back on I can't remember. I think it's a song on the off season where he talked about what is it? When you're two disc album do a measly 100,000. I think that was
I forgot what song that was, and I know I was listening to that the other day.
I was literally listening to it the other day. I'm pretty sure it's off season. I'm pretty sure.
No, it's all serious. Throw your hood up. It's that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the intro, bro. That's a fire ass intro.
My pen in my pants is lethal. Yeah.
Bit of the bed is lethal. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, man. It's just like I even went back because I never listened to Might Delete Later. I never listened to
Really?
bro. So I listened to like three or four songs when it first hit. Because like when it first hit, I was like, oh, 7 minute drill. That's what everybody's talking about. So I'm gonna go listen
Yeah.
to that. And when I listened to that, I was like, bro, I don't even want to hear the rest of this tape. I'm like, if this is the song you have on the tape, I don't even want to hear the rest of what you have to say at this point. But
Uh,
I went back and listened to it and I was like, bro, I was tripping. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, we got Hunting Rabbits, we got the Pie song.
Hun Rabbits is the best track.
Bro, that
Hun Rabbits is crazy.
Trey the Truth on Ibiza. I love
Nah,
it,
that's a great one too.
bro. Just like that flow. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's times where like J. Cole just like goes into like this flow state. But
Yes.
then he ends up where we are here with the fall off to where he just overwhelms us with all these songs. Cause it's like, okay,
He kept flowing. He didn't stop flowing.
like, bro.
Yeah.
And the thing that really bothered me the most is um how there was a lack of features on this project. Like,
Yeah, because what they had, I think it was just Tim's and Future that I can really remember off of a bunch of blues.
yeah, the Tim's and Future, Erica Badu, she was on one of my favorite
Mhm.
songs.
She was.
Um, and then the song with Burna Boy, which when I first heard it, I was like, oh, okay, this is just wait for you. Literally. Did you feel like that?
It basically was, bro.
Bro, as soon as the guitar started, I was like, wait a minute, I've heard this before. I was like, this is wait for you. And then like, the Burner Boy started coming in. I was like, okay. And then as the song kept progressing, I was like, yeah, this is just wait for you. That's all this
Yeah.
is. But
He definitely had a couple tracks on there that were just like, I forgot who said it, but somebody, dry love songs that kind of texting you. Like it was a lot of stuff where it was like, this is cool, but whenever you make a love song about somebody, and it's not about like a specific person, it's just like you making a love song for women or whatever. It ends up kind of sounding generic for me.
yeah, and you know what? That's funny that you bring that up because like I thought about that when I first heard the Life Sentence song. Like
Yeah,
the concept of Life Sentence, it kind of just reminded me of Wet Dreams of like this is like a cheesy ass concept.
definitely.
I see what you're trying to portray or trying to get us to understand, like on the surface. But like the more that I started listening to it, I was like, well, I'm like, this is like a real life topic that
Yeah.
because, I feel like, especially in well, I'm not even gonna say our generation, but just like the generation below us, a lot of us, I don't know whether it's just like a commitment issue that a lot of people our age or lower kind of
Yeah. Oh boy. That's like
Hey
that's a topic, ain't
man, I'm gonna
it?
let you go ahead and flow. I seen you had some ideas that just hit your brain right there. Go for it.
But I always say the commitment issues and so on and so forth. Every generation, history repeats itself, so on and so forth. It's just we got social media to document everything. But because of that, social media also just might have a effect on that. You could be having a chill little whatever you got going on, and then see a tweet or see a post that's like try to describe your situation and now you in your head in real life about something you saw on your phone. Like I will say that commitment thing going around is definitely a problem, but it stems from social media in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's kind of also something that I thought about with the song. I forget the name of the song, but the song with the Common sample. I never knew a
I
love.
never knew like this.
Yeah, when I heard that one, I was like, okay. And you know what's funny? I was actually talking to my homie about this. What's the song? I love her again. I love her again.
Yeah, I love her. I think that was my favorite track out there, actually.
You know, when I first heard it, like immediately, my homie he hit me and he was like, "Hey, bro," he was like, "How you feel about I love her again?" And I was like, "Hey, man, I just had to listen to it. Like the first like 45 seconds started, I was like, oh, we got to restart this." I'm like, "Cole, I'm like, why you talking about me right now? Why you talking?" Because on the surface level, I'm like, "Hey, fool." I'm like, "What's wrong with loving like women who like to have fun? Ain't nothing wrong
You
with
know
that.
what I'm saying?
Ain't nothing wrong with that." And then we had a conversation like a week or so after, and he was like, "Bro, like." He was talking about hip hop, and I was like, "See,
Yeah,
it took me a minute to realize because
yeah.
on first listen, I was like, "Hey, listen, Cole, ain't nothing wrong with this. Everybody need love. Everybody need love."
I peeped it when I was listening, bro. I was at work and I was just hearing it, and I'm like, he's doing the personification thing. Like he's doing it, but it's like, what is he talking about? The more we got to it, the more I kind of. It's one of those songs that once you know what it is, kind of going into it about 10 seconds in, like, all right, he's doing this. The further we get in it, the more I like it. I'm like, all right,
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like what he said when I was talking to my homie about it. He was like, "Nah, see, that's the thing that like bothers me about this Cole album is that there's not much like mystery in the
yeah,
topics." Like he basically put it to me like, if you think about a lot of these songs from like the 70s and the 80s, we're just now finding out like what they were talking about in these songs, like
yeah,
yeah, in the 2010s. But it's like we got somebody like Cole who we put on this pedestal of being this like super creative artist, but he's putting this like super surface level concept on a project.
project. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I thought about that too. And then, ironically, here we are like 2 weeks after the fall off. You got the Baby Keem Casino album. And Kendrick opens his verse with, "I never knew a love." I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute. I didn't catch it at first. I was like, okay, okay. And it was funny, like I watch a lot of those like breakdown videos where everybody like, tries to find the needle in the haystack to make it seem like everything is
Yeah.
connected. And like I never even took it as a diss, but it was like one of those like, how ironic is it that like you put together this whole project with this sample to talk about hip hop, and here Kendrick raps about it from the perspective that I perceived it as. So I was like, hey, I'm with you on that.
Kendrick kind of has that thing where if it's something that's presented as overly complicated, he'll just put it in a song and make it like kind of the most surface level thing. But you can tell from hearing it if you heard the other song, like, wait a damn minute. Definitely does it.
Bro, I was literally like, my wife, she got some like IKEA cabinet, and I'm over there in the room. I'm just bumping the albums back to back, and that song came on. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I just heard this on the fall off. Like, wait a minute, I didn't catch this like
Could
the other day.
swore.
Facts. So
Nah.
I was gonna say, as far as like, because I know we were talking about like the off season to talk about Might Delete Later and all that kind of stuff. With the fall off, us being just like slightly under a month of us like digesting the album, where do you put this in Cole's discography?
My favorite J. Cole album is usually people like Forest Hills Drive. Like mine is always Born Center, straight up. Born Center is my favorite J. Cole album. After that, I'll do Forest Hills Drive. But if I'm marked somewhere, it's not. I think Fall Off is about top five range. I think it's in top five range just from rapping ability and from, don't, dang, bro. Because J. Cole's early projects and mixtapes, Friday Night Lights is my favorite J. Cole project for a long time.
Fire mixtape. I like the warm up
Dang.
personally. I like the warm up.
The warm up's really good too, with Young Simba and everything. Okay. I put my top six. Six for sure to be safe right now because I can think of five other J. Cole projects where I'm just like, yeah, nah, he was. I'll put KOD over that one. Like, that's already three of them. I'll put Friday Night Lights over. Uh, I'm not. I wouldn't put Sideline Story over it.
I'm with you.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. See, I really enjoyed Sideline Story. Like I remember when I first heard it, like, because that album came out when I was like in like I think seventh grade or eighth grade or something like that. And like at that time, I wasn't listening to like CDs. So I was just listening to whatever was on the radio. So I'm hearing,
Mhm.
workout, can't get enough, and
Mm.
um, what is it? In the morning, the one with
In
Stevie
the
Wonder.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was hearing like those three songs. I was like, wait a minute, who's this J. Cole guy? And I go back and I went and listened to the project. I was like, okay. I was like, I like this album. I like it. But I think that like at this time, well, I'll put it today's aspect. I never really, until this Fall Off album came out, I never really did any type of research into J. Cole. Never like cared to even like dive into it. And I've
Really?
dove at all, bro. I've always been a Kendrick fan. Like when the whole what was it? When the whole Black Friday thing was happening, they're like pinning themselves against each other while having friendly competition, so to say.
Yeah.
Like I was like, okay, see, I had a homie at the time, and he was like a J. Cole fanatic. So he was like, no, bro, J. Cole's Black Friday way better. I'm like, bro, come on now. I'm like, are you
I feel like I was a part of this conversation way
you
back.
were. You were. You remember we had a big ass debate in the group chat back in what was that, like
Bro.
2014, 2015?
Man, boy, we was on kick.
Yeah, yeah. We had like 17 people in there. We was talking about some, nah, bro, let me tell you something, bro. What the fuck is you talking about? And I'm like, bro, come on, man. But uh at that time, I just never like really cared for Cole, bro. Like I thought Cole was like a cool artist, but I always loved Kendrick way more. And I actually saw this post yesterday where some girl was talking about she was like, I don't want to deal with a man if he doesn't like J. Cole. It's like, because that lets me know that you're still in this phase of like entertaining multiple women if you don't like J. Cole. And I
How
was
does that work?
that's what I was trying to figure out. 'Cause I was like, I was like, wait a minute. How does that correlate? But people always like to just pull like whatever out of their ass when it comes to trying to correlate interests. But
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. Like Cole's music has always been good. I've always enjoyed it. But when it came to Cole, it always took me at least four listens for me to actually like his albums. Like, what is it? What's the album?
Which one?
Um, what's the album
What's
that
the
came
song
out?
on it?
What's the album that came out in 2017? Uh, there's the album with the neighbors on it. What album was that?
Neighbors was the one with From Whom the Bells Toll. Uh, For Your Eyes On.
Yeah, For Your Eyes. See, I listened to it when it first came out, but I was like, I'm not gonna say this is boring, but I'm like, this is just like not what I was expecting.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know. I just feel like with Kendrick, like I always like have always connected. Like as soon as Kendrick drops, like I'm three songs in the album, like I love this. This is my album
Yeah.
of the year.
Yeah. I naturally have somewhat of a bias. Dot is my favorite rapper ever. He's been my favorite rapper since 2012. Dog, like, we 14 years in.
Bro,
Like, so I was already really tuned in to a lot of the stuff. But Cole for me was always still like one of them ones. Like I was one of the people that held the big three to a high standard. Like it was always Kendrick, Cole, Drake. But I was always kind of holding Kendrick and Cole a level above Drake, just in terms of rapping. But after a minute, Kendrick, it's like Kendrick came in the game already so polished and a lot. It's just straight up like the Kyrie of rap. Like, bro, he can just do everything.
literally.
He can just do everything and it looks good, right? Cole in the period of Kendrick being gone, and I think it was around the time before Mr. Morale dropped. Cole leveled up. Like Cole was just rap meditating, just sitting there, just constantly leveling up. Once we got to like the Benny the Butcher song, what was that? Johnny P's Caddy. That verse, that's it still gets me. By that point, all right, Cole is officially like leveled up. He went on a crazy feature run. And that's why when we did get to the beef, I was one of them people like, hey, I'm ready to see what Cole and Kendrick talking about. Like, we know he been ready to go with Drake, but hey, come on. But yeah, 7 minute drill was okay.
It was
It was
disappointing.
it was disappointing. Honestly, the rest of the tape was better. That's the whole thing about it. All right.
That was what like really threw me because I tell you, I literally listened to that album entirely like 2 weeks ago for the first time. And I was like listening to it like front to back. And when the last song concluded, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, 7 Minute Drill used to be the last song on here. So I mean, I remember that it was deleted, but it was like, bro, this was like the most like unneeded song on the album. Like
It didn't need to be there.
never in my life have I ever heard an album to where like a song just was not needed and then they removed it. And when they removed it, I was like, wait a minute, I actually enjoyed this album way more without this song.
Yeah. I'm it's gonna sound crazy to you, but I'm still trying to get my people into, listening to things in order, listening to albums in order, kind of way we were. I wouldn't even talk that. I just knew to do that after a minute growing up. But I'm still kind of working on people doing this, and I talk about intros and outros connecting whenever I talk to them about doing it. 7 Minute Drill is not a good outro. It's not a good outro, bro.
Bro, I tell you, like, I've always just like listened to albums just like entirely because I feel like if you're gonna give an opinion on an album, you need to be able to listen to it from beginning to end. I mean,
Track is
nowadays
order.
people can just kind of just throw a track list out there, like it don't even matter. But when you
Mhm.
get those, like we hold to standards as far as Cole, Kendrick,
Yeah.
hip hop artists, when it comes to something like
Yes.
that, we're gonna listen to it from beginning to end. And I had a coworker who she was like, "Oh, I haven't listened to the album yet, The Fall Off." And this is like 2 weeks removed. I was like, "What do you mean you haven't listened to The Fall Off?" I think like what it is that she was seeing a lot of opinions online. She was a little skeptical. So she
Ah,
so she hit me up and she was like, "Hey, so like what do you think are the best songs on the album?" And I was like, "Oh, Poor Thing right out the gate." And I was like, "Just listen to
yeah,
Poor."
yeah.
I'm like, "Listen to Poor Thing. Like just put that on 30 seconds in and tell me if you're not going to enjoy the album. Like that's all you need to hear at this point." And like literally she was like, "Oh yeah." She was like, "I listened to the song. I'm gonna go ahead and put the album in rotation, beginning to end." But what I did with the Might Delete Later is I was like, okay. I was like, I haven't listened to this entirely, but I'm gonna go ahead and listen to, Trey the Truth in Ibiza, one of my favorite songs on that
Yeah,
album. And I let this
definitely.
flow. He was in a flow state on that song. 100 degrees of freeze attempt.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites too, man.
So when I think about just that album and think about just like the time frame that we were in, it just like really kind of reminds me that it's like, a lot of these artists are people too. And they kind of
Yeah,
like kind of just jump out the gate, jump the gun, whatever you want to call it, and then realize like, hold on now. This isn't who I am.
that's kind of what he ended up doing with that album and that this and that apology. So
Man, so speaking of the apology, now where we are with how J. Cole has presented himself with the fall off, kind of, I guess you could say, proven himself to be the person, like, forget the artist at this point, being the person who J. Cole is. How do you feel
yeah,
about that apology now, being where we are?
the apology. I mean, okay, initially when it first came out, it was one of those things where it was in the midst of the beef, where it's like, so everybody was like, "Oh, Kendrick said on Hard Part 4, April the 7th, he apologized on April the 7th. What we gonna do?" Like it was a whole lot of that. And I was explaining to my at the time girl about like, hey, apologizing in this. It's not like what we talking about here. And she's like, "Oh, Cole would have did that." I'm like, I can see that, but it just didn't ring right with me. And every single time he talked about being the best rapper and I'll murk any rapper, I'll murder any rapper. Cole do that. Like Cole. Somebody said it was like Cole is a gun bar rapper. Cole's gonna talk about murking any rapper, bro. I promise. But as of present day, uh, I didn't. It's not one of those things where people be like, "Oh, Cole out the big three." Now it's we plugging Future in there. Now we plugging like I'm feel like we doing too much with all that. I just feel like in that moment, I feel like Cole was okay with accepting bronze.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like he was okay with it and he made peace with it. So I'm really far removed from it. I feel like people kind of drag it when they be like, "Nah, Cole," like and they just try to get on his ass just for dropping the album. But I feel like, bro, rap is rap. You either gonna enjoy it or you not. I don't really hold that over his head no more. But every time he does talk about murking any rapper or putting anybody in a body bag and so on and so forth, I'd be like, yeah.
Facts.
Alright, well,
Facts. Nah, see, I think about that too, because like, when you think about us like being like in high school, middle school, there was always that one person who just like talked out of the side of their neck and be like, man, I'll do X, Y, and Z to a person. Then you see them get like dropped. And it's like, hey, where
Yeah.
was all that talk?
Yeah,
That's
like
kind of
what
how I
happened,
feel.
bro?
What happened, fool? What happened?
After the X, Y, and Z shit.
Yeah, man. See, I think about that a lot, especially because it's like I'm not even gonna say, like I say, I never really held Cole in like this high regard, but it was just like with the feature run, how like every single feature verse that he's done over the last 4 years, every single verse has some kind of correlation to killing a rapper. Every single verse. So it's like, okay, here's your opportunity to quote unquote kill a rapper. Where the fuck are you, Cole? Like, come on, bro.
I'm gonna take my chin out.
Bro, that shit was like what did he say on the Yachty one? This is the thing that like made me laugh so hard about that Yachty feature. Like it's like we knew Cole was gonna murk that Alchemist type of beat. We already knew that's like Cole's like forte. He comes on
Yeah.
and said he got on FaceTime, looked in the face of the Reaper or something like that.
Mhm.
And you know what? It's funny, like I say, bro, I never really dove into Cole's story whatsoever, never paid attention to it. So I'm just now, you probably are familiar with this, but I'm
Yeah.
just now getting hip to this whole the story that he's been putting in about his friend that passed away. The James McMillan Jr. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not
Bro,
actually.
so I saw this thing on Threads after the fall off came off or came out. They were talking about how he talked about his friend on I think it was Poor Thing. I have it saved on Spotify. It was this app.
Because I remember a thing before thing was everyone was trying to figure out who he was talking about.
Yeah, so the '03 Adolescence, right?
Yeah.
So talking about that, the song Safety, where he talked about whenever he had to go back home and his friend passed away and somebody was like telling him like, hey, the family would love to see you at the funeral, whatever the case. Um, Apparently like he's been talking about this like his entire career basically. So somebody put together like a playlist and it was floating around on like threads and stuff like that. And the order that they put it in is '03 Adolescence, Immortal, Safety, and Die Together, which apparently was on the deluxe of the Forest Hills
Mhm.
Drive.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard the deluxe tracks.
Yeah, see, and then
Die Together was really sad.
you said what?
I said Die Together was one of those really sad tracks. I didn't know that was in there.
That shit was sad as fuck. Like when I
Yeah.
listened to it, I was like, God damn, man. I was like, oh, you finna make me cry. Like, what the fuck? I'm trying to work. Bro, like, and so like I was completely unaware of this. Like, were you aware of that at all?
I wasn't aware at all. I definitely wasn't aware of any of those tracks linking and talking about the same person. Because I mean, "Oh Through Adolescence" is just one of my favorite songs in general, actually.
Literally.
But watching those connect, no, especially not off the Forest Hills Deluxe, because I think my favorite off of that was probably Winter Wonderland. But I never really like I listened to all of them. I put with Cole. I got two playlists. I got a playlist for hot shit, and I got a playlist for moody shit. Cole always ends up most of his tracks in the moody playlist. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of those kind of hit. Like, yeah, I can see this. But Die Together was one of those ones where I'm like, if that is part of the story, I'm intrigued on listening to that order, that track order, and then kind of forming my own opinion on it because I was unaware that all of this was why he was doing it.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I have never dove into anything Cole. I never really cared. Because it's like I feel like 2014 Forest Hills Drive, he kind of just gave his life story on the album.
Yeah.
And that's one of my like all-time like top 10 albums. Like 2014 Forest Hills Drive, I think if I'm not mistaken, I wrote out the list the other day because I got bored. And I think like that was like number 4 out of like my top 10 albums.
So
So like when I listen to that album, I'm like, I feel like this is like Cole's life. Like I don't need to dive into his life whatsoever because he put his life in this project, in my opinion.
yeah,
And now like thinking about that like concept, going back listening to like the fall off, I can see like he's telling his life, but like two different phases of his life.
yeah, yeah. It's a lot of artists do that to where they have before I made it and after I made it kind of albums. Fall off is definitely I got here, you know what I'm saying, but it ain't everything that I thought it was. Kind of an album. My Forest Hills is kind of telling where it came up from. And even then, it's not telling 100% of everything. Like you can only know 99% about a person, dog. Let alone a rapper.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like a lot of these rappers are, they can say whatever, but unless you're like really close to them, you don't really know these like true stories.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you even think about that, even in the Kendrick sense, like we know what Kendrick tells us, but nobody in the circle is like, oh, Dot is doing this, Dot is doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like I think about that a lot, especially with this whole like Baby Keem thing that's going right now. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I've I tried to listen to Baby Keem when he first like popped off. And I was like, why the fuck would I want to listen to this shit? Like this baby, it bothered the fuck out of me. I was like, bro, what the fuck? And I remember I had a homie who he was like really like, nah, bro, you gotta listen to Die for My Bitch. Like, bro, it's fire, it's this. And I was like, Die for My Bitch. I was like, why the
I
fuck would I want to
remember.
listen to some shit like that? And then like 2 weeks later, I'm yeah.
I heard orange soda, and that was it.
Nah, for me, it was France Freestyle and Stats.
Stats had me immediately like, all right,
Smile,
all
huh?
right.
Take a picture with me. Bro, when I heard that, I said, wait a minute. And then the beat switches. First things first, when I pop, I might get your hoe thirsty. Yeah, nah, he was in a flow state on that project. And then when Melodic Blue came out, I was like, bro, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like something to where I think about where I have to like also remember. Um, I saw this on an interview for Chance the Rapper. He had talked
Right.
about Dave Chappelle, like saying, like, people always like to get attached to artists when they drop an album and then they drop another album. Everybody's like, bro, like, what the hell? Like, I love this album. Like, where was that energy? But Dave,
Uh,
Dave Chappelle put it as like the concept of like an album is just a yearbook in the time frame where you are in life. So
yeah.
so it's like
Yeah.
something to where, if you think about it like this, like you're gonna love an album just because the songs never change. You listen to the same
Right.
songs for 12 years, whatever the case. So when that next project comes out, you kind of have like a sour taste because you've been so invested in that past album. Did you have any kind of feelings like that when the fall off came out?
I say when the fall off came out, I was already going into it thinking about the album title because I mean, I saw the whole trailer. Everyone's like, "Oh, when the artist falls off," and it's all that. It's like, okay, yeah, but listen to the you ain't fell off. Like, what we talking about, bro? What we talking about, bro? And so I was looking into this album, kind of like a mix of an album and a now album. And it was like that was basically kind of what it felt like. I was like, all right. I went to that fully like, what you finna talk about? What are we finna point on? Because I know you're gonna point at this, and you're gonna talk about this. And he talked about everything that I expected he would, but he did add in things that I also didn't expect. So
What you say when you say like things that he didn't expect? What was one thing that stuck out the most as far as that aspect?
in a way, I expected him to toward I expected him to point towards the whole thing with Kendrick and Drake because everybody had been clowning him on social media for the apology for years and so on and so forth. But he had dropped a few tracks actually kind of in between that were just, old to like what was it, Port Authority?
I was just
And
gonna say
so
that. Port
yeah.
Antonio.
Well, Port Antonio, I said Port Authority. What am I thinking about?
Yeah, he was like, what I could have done, what I could have did this. Like, I don't want to hear this
Yeah.
shit. Sit your ass back. My homie, he was like, I want to hear this woulda, coulda, shoulda. He said, go get back on that
Woulda, coulda,
bike.
yeah, the woulda, coulda, shoulda shit. I'm like, man, all right. Drizzy Drake, y'all, fuck with you. And I'm like, all right, we cool. All right, I understand. You feel like you had to put your 2 cents in. I felt like he had enough to say about it. So when he started pointing all two of my homies start fighting and all that other shit on the album, that was one of those things where I was like, oh, you still kind of calling back to this. All right. So what you got to say about it?
Yeah, like what's the song with Moray? The What If? Is that the
What I think it's what it.
the one whenever he's talking about like the whole like Tupac and Biggie situation or whatever the case. And I feel like, he's like talking about the Drake and Kendrick without like mentioning their name.
What
He's
I was saying.
Yeah, like basically trying to like draw the line of comparison while just like focusing on this is the big thing that we all remember. And this is what it could have been if it didn't get stopped. It didn't, whatever the case. But
Yeah.
I think that like now, like looking back in hindsight, because we're like almost 2 years removed from the Drake and Kendrick beef, and I feel like this was like so much bigger than just like going at Drake from Kendrick. Like this is just
Hmm.
him literally just like taking the spotlight back. Like literally basically how I see it is like Kendrick really just like rage baited Drake to like go in combat. And Drake, he has such a soft ego that he's like, "Oh, you're not gonna tell me this. You're not gonna tell me I'm that. I'm gonna jump out and make myself look stupid," and not
Yeah.
even realizing that he's just playing right into his hand, like basically ruin every relationship possible because Drake decided to take that opportunity with what is it the Family Matters and like have a song
Yeah.
where he went at everybody that said something. So it's like, okay, you're supposed to speak your piece, but now you look stupid because you're making a big ass song, creating this, using your platform to talk about everybody. But now
Making a
everybody's
big
listening.
ass movie up to them.
Yeah. So then now here we are, like nobody's listening to your music, and you've dropped over 50 songs in the last
God
two
damn,
years.
he did drop a lot of songs.
Like when I realize that now and I think about that in hindsight, it's like it was bigger than this. It was bigger than just like Drake and Kendrick. Like this was literally the surface of it. And Drake was like, "No, I got this. I got this. Everybody step back."
I picked that. I picked that. Like, again, not my favorite rapper. So it's like before the beef even really like we was at push-ups. We was at push-ups, everybody's like, oh, well, Drake body and and I'm over here just like, yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, literally,
I have no
literally.
idea.
Bro, when
I'm
push-ups
just
came out,
like, all right.
I was like, okay, okay. It's like it's
I'll never forget, but I was driving the truck around this time, man. That shit came on. I was at work in the morning before you drop. Got a YouTube notification.
bruh. When Euphoria dropped, I
I
literally
said it's over. When
bro,
Euphoria dropped, I was like, hey, this nigga need to stop.
I got the 45-second notification from YouTube. I said, hold on. I had my phone. I forgot my headphones at the house that day. And I remember I was like this at the stoplight. I was like, okay. I was like, where are you going? Where are you going? And he just, beep. I was like, okay, yeah, we're here. We're here. And I remember I had an argument with my homie that day. He was like, nah, bro, he was supposed to do this. And I was like, shut the fuck up over here talking about woulda, coulda, shoulda. And I'm like, do you not
Yeah.
hear this? Like, I'm like, are we hearing two different songs? Like, I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about?
I fell into the rage, man. I was over here arguing with bots on Twitter, bro.
Bro, I was arguing with YouTube comments. I did that for like 3 months straight. Like anybody who had something to say, I was like, listen, I was like going crazy. Well, I logged into my computer to type paragraphs to people on YouTube. I was like, well, y'all got me fucked up.
Bro, nah, somebody reported my account on Twitter, bro. I swear to God, I got my account. I was logged out of my shit, just straight banned. I'm like, all right, let me get back in here.
Yeah, bro. I remember like listening to like those like 6 songs for repeat for months. And I told my wife, I was like, man, you better be lucky we don't have a home system in here with speakers. I'd be in here bumping Euphoria to the highest.
Euphoria's still the best track after Beef to me.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's just this a reason why I heard that and I was like, yeah, it's over. He needs to stop, bro.
Literally, bro. I was like, bro, like there's nothing more that needs to come out at this point. Like Euphoria.
I'm still mad 616 isn't on streaming platforms because that whole 616 is one of those tracks that's so good that everything before he starts talking about I can see the vibes on act is like the best part of the song. I don't even care about the beat parts of that song. I just want to hear the rest of the rapping.
Bro, that song is like,
Eesh.
bro, that song is so beautiful, fool. Like when I think about this hip hop, like I was like, see, this is hip hop. Like
Yeah.
and like I remember I was like, when beef was happening, that was like I was probably like 3 episodes in on the podcast of doing this. And I was like, bro, I'm about to make a whole podcast about Kendrick at this point, man. I'm listening to this shit. And my wife was like, you need to calm down. You need to calm down.
Good God in hand in your life because don't do that. Don't do that, my boy.
That she was like, you need to calm down. And I remember she ended up making a friend at work, and they were talking about like this is at the time whenever Kendrick was on tour. And she was like, yeah, my husband and I, we're gonna go see Kendrick. And she was like, oh, really? She's like, my husband really likes it. That's what she's telling her friend. Like my husband really likes Kendrick. And she's like, yeah, mine too. She's like, when that beef thing was happening, she was like, oh my goodness. She was like, my husband listened to that song. It's like back and forth. And she's telling me the story about it. And I told her, I said, man, you better be lucky I don't have a working radio in my car. Like every time I pull up
Man.
on you at work, grocery store, you're gonna hear beep, 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 beep.
And I'm telling you, my ex at the time, then we went to go kick it with the homies during the beef. I asked one of the homies, she was like, no more talking. No. I'm like, dog. I understand though. If you was a fan of rap, like really a fan of rap, it was hard not to talk about that at the time, bro.
I tell you, bro, I was like writing out. I remember having arguments with my homie back and forth, like through text. It'd be like 7 o'clock in the evening. She's like, who are you talking to? I'm like, leave me alone. I'm like, bro, let me tell you something about Kendrick, man. What the fuck is we talking about? And what's funny is like my homie that I was arguing with is a Kendrick fan. I'm like, why am I arguing with you about Kendrick and you're a Kendrick fan, fool? Like, fuck is we talking about? So I started calling him Crody after that. I was like, yeah, you Crody now, strictly. Oh, man. So anytime, whenever he say something to me, I'm like, oh, what's good, Crody? I'm like, what we doing? What's the deal?
Damn. You know why he called him Crody, right?
I think it's like Canadian thing, but I don't know specifically.
Oh, it was I think Drake's cat's name is Crody. So every time he called him Crody on Euphoria, he was saying pussy.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it had to do with the cat. That's funny.
You just call your homie pussy.
Bro, what? I don't even think about it on that surface level. I just thought it was funny as fuck. I was like, what up, Crody? Crody.
It is Canadian slang, though, for sure.
Yeah, I saw a video yesterday, like people were like putting together compilations of all the reactions to that. And this freaking white dude, he was like, you hear that? He's saying Crody, he's talking that Crip shit. Crips, they don't use bees. They say this, Crody, Crody, Crody. I was like, shut the fuck up. I was like, see, this one I watch reactors.
That should be fun to me because Kendrick of blood.
Literally.
Like, I'm just like, all right.
I really what are you talking about? Like, come on, bro. That's when it really hit me. I was like, okay, you're not connected whatsoever. And I'm like, it's cool.
Yeah. Nah, that whole thing, like, the comments on how people perceive Kendrick before and after the beef, before it was just telling me, I'm like, oh, y'all think this like a hotep nigga who just getting on. I'm like, this is a blood who went to therapy. What are we talking about, dog?
Funniest like tweet that I saw during that time is somebody said it's like Kendrick's the type of person that went to therapy and got worse. Like,
Yeah.
and the funniest one that I saw at that time when they said Kendrick's the type of person that is there, but when the bus passes, he's gone. He's that type of character.
With a hood on.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I think about that, because I started going into like the lore, everybody has their reaction channels or whatever the case.
Yeah.
And there's a channel that talked about his recent appearance at the Grammys, how he had like the bandages wrapped, kind of like a boxer or whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody was like saying like, oh, he's training, he's getting his reps back in, he's doing this. And people are trying to connect it to the beef. But I'm like, I feel like just him using the fresh wraps is more so symbolic to like, we are in a new stage. I'm training for a new match. Like,
a new thing.
Forget the beef at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But, this is our generation, Tupac, Biggie. This is our generation.
Basically. This is our Nas, Jay-Z. This is our... Well, we was there for 50 and Ja, kind of still. So it's
Easy Gucci.
Exactly, bro. Like, this is our beef that's going to get talked about forever.
Go dig your partner up, homie, but he can't say shit. I love that song. I was listening to that. I remember like when I was doing Uber and Lyft, I'd be bumping that shit. I'd be having like a bunch of young people in my car. Go dig your partner up, homie, but he can't say shit.
Damn, what's this?
Yeah. I'm like,
oh, I know.
Man. Nah, that's what I'm saying. Like when I think about just like hip hop, it's like hip hop really like connects like so many people. And like, especially like at that time, I don't have any little sibling. Well, okay, I take that back. I got a little sister, but you know how that goes. So I don't really have like a little brother or nothing. But my wife, she's got a nephew, and so like when he comes around, I'm like, oh, this was kind of like my little brother. Like at this time when this came out, I was about 16. So I'm like, he probably don't listen to Kendrick. I'm thinking like, because anytime I see him, he's always talking about Playboy Cardi. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about Playboy Cardi. So I never thought to even engage in it. And one day we're in the car and he's listening to songs from Section 80. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, you shouldn't have played this song. I'm like, did you listen to the Kendrick Drake beef? How did you feel about it? We talked about it for like 2 hours. I was like, you just open a Pandora's box. You didn't even know what's there, bro. Let me tell you something.
Like, oh yeah. If I hear somebody playing Poor Man's Dreams out of nowhere, I'm like, so what you know about that? Oh, what you talking about?
I think that was a song that he started playing. I remember when he started playing, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, it was so funny. Like, I've never really like had like those moments of like, well, I guess you could say, you know how like when you hear music and like music is always connected to a time, so it always brings you back to a
Mm-hmm.
memory or whatever. Bro,
Yep.
like he was helping us out. Him and his brother, they were helping us put together a fence at our house. We had to go back to Home Depot to go pick up some supplies. So he jumps on the aux, he's playing music or whatever. And he had that song playing. Remember the Schoolboy Q song, the Michael Jordan with Kendrick? Michael Jordan,
Michael
bitch.
Jordan, bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that song started playing. I was like, bro, what the fuck? I was like, this is what it's like to be a teenager, just riding around. I'm high as fuck. I had just like sparked up like 3 bowls. I was like, this is what it's like to be a teenager bumping in a whip with speakers. I was like, fuck, I need to get my radio back in my car. This is bullshit. Bro, like, that's why I say like hip hop just like really connects so many people together. Like,
No, boy.
and with that being said, especially like if we're talking about Dreamville, were you disappointed at all not hearing JID on this album too?
I wasn't disappointed, but that's because my expectations were tempered. Jid has kind of stated in multiple interviews that, well, holding Jay Z this track and that track when he signed and all that other shit because I feel like Jid is trying to reach higher and he doesn't really want. I feel like that ended with too. Yeah. Like I feel like what we got with the itty bitty bitch. Like what we got with what was that? Was that Westbrook or was it off these? I think it was off these. Yeah. What we got with that? Perish it. I don't think we're gonna get a Cole and Jid track until Jid fuck around live Dream Deal or something. But like, yeah. But I mean stand it because he been what Cole did with the future run in those first 4 or 5 years. Jid's doing that right now. Jid is on a feature frenzy. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the truth. Cause like I get to thinking about a lot of recent JID interviews since the last album came out. This God does like
God does
ugly.
like ugly.
Um,
Yeah.
and I think about it where he literally says it's like, he's kind of creating his own lane.
Hmm.
He's working on creating his legacy. And I feel like even if you are signed to like a bigger artist, I think whenever you attach them to your legacy a little too much, it can kind of dim the light that you're trying to create for yourself.
Bro. Kyrie left Braun after ring one.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like after a minute, you don't want to just be under somebody. Like and Jid is really one of those niggas where it's like you signed to one of these niggas that you could Loki be. Like
Fact.
you could dead be.
No, that's a fact, bro. See, I think about that just with how everything is going. And it was funny, like when what is it, the Winter Blizzard or whichever project that he dropped right before the album, I was like, oh shit, is hip hop back? Is hip hop back? But then I start to realize I'm like, hip hop has never been gone, but it's just that like after
It's been changing.
yeah, it's been changing. And it's funny, like just like watching all these J. Cole interviews or just past J. Cole stuff, just seeing like um leading up to the album. I remember having discussions with a homie of mine. And I told him because he was like, bro, he was like, what if the fall off is like the Kendrick J. Cole album that we've been waiting for 10 years? What if it's this? What if it's that? He's putting all these like ideas on the board. And I told him, I don't think it's gonna be anything that you think or we think that it's gonna be. And I gave him this pure example. I was like, bro, I've watched all these J. Cole interviews that he's done over the last couple of years, and he said it out of his own mouth. J. Cole is a hater. So it's like if he's gonna leave out on this last note, why is he gonna attach people to his name on his
Yeah.
last lap?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that? Because I mean, I even think about it like, the 444 album. The 444 album was him kind of just like discussing his life, what he's
Yeah.
doing. So do you feel like the fall off kind of has that same essence, just him being under Jay-Z kind of thing?
Kind of. Like mine. Well, I get what you're saying. Him under Jay Z and his tutelage and taking everything. If anything, Cole is like this mix of Jay and Nas that just kind of floats around. That's from South Carolina, so it's like I can see that. But most of the time, when I look at 40-year-old niggas, I expect grown nigga raps. You know what I'm saying? Unless you Future, like Future is probably my second favorite rapper, just off of like it's Future. So it's Future. I'm not gonna lie. It's like it's just how it is. But I don't expect Future to drop the fall off. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't nobody gonna expect that. But I'm not expecting Future to drop a Where My Life Is album after everything. And in a way, he still kind of does. In a way, like that's why I do encourage people to listen to albums in tracklist order, which is again, it's crazy that I feel like I have to say that nowadays. But even Future got intros and outros, dog. Like you are doing yourself a disservice if a Future project come out and you're not listening to it in order completely. But with Cole, he is definitely doing that. Like this is where I am right now thing. With all the Trump sales, I don't know if I'm getting a I'm retiring thing or if I'm gonna start doing things under a new alias or if I'm gonna start. I don't know what I'm getting from it. And I think that's where he wants us. I think he wants us to be in this state of like, what's coming next? Or is it over? Like, that's where we are right now.
Yeah, man. And it's funny, even like just like the trunk sales. Like, um, I was watching some videos and people were like talking about like his first come up, like before the sideline story era. He was doing the whole dollar and a dream where he was going, state to state doing these shows. And it's like that
Yeah.
whole, what do they call it? The pay to play. So it's like pay whatever you want, like the Russell movement or whatever the case. So it's like when you give yourself or when you allow yourself to build a fan base off of what you can give, it gives people more reason to be like, huh, I do want to connect with this artist because they're not reaching for the stars as far as charging me for something. But
Mm.
and the fact that like he's also coming out to our towns, he's coming out here and like shaking hands with the people or whatever the case. But I also thought this was super cool that he has been specifically going to the HBCU colleges in all of these towns.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw this one reel. It's like, why are these the lyrics you choose to sing when you see J. Cole? They got J. Cole in the video. I need a nigga who ain't on it. I'm like, bro,
He looked at him like, why the
like, dog, for real.
he literally
You
looked at him
couldn't
like,
think of
don't finish the
anything else?
lyrics. Don't finish the lyrics.
Please don't.
Bro, that shit had me crying. I saw that shit last night. I was crying. I was like, out of all of J. Cole songs he's got in his discography, that's the first one
You
that
can
popped in your mind.
you can tell Buddy got something in his system. He just like, let me think of something right quick, bro.
He's
That's
literally
crazy.
that fool is literally the epitome of the first thing I think about is what I'm gonna do. I don't even gotta think about it. Bruh, that shit was so funny.
Yeah.
Nah, hell no, man. So I
But
just think
no.
about that as far as just like where it's going. I don't think retirement is on the table at this point. Like, I know he says like he's done making J. Cole albums, but it's like if we already got the end of the Dreamville era, but they say he's supposed to be bringing it back allegedly. Allegedly. So I just really wonder what's in store for just J. Cole. Not even Dreamville, but what's in store for J. Cole if that's where we're going.
I predict he's gonna go under Jermaine Cole. Just gonna use his like full name instead of having to use an alias. And bro gonna drop like he gonna drop a mixtape. It's not gonna be an album. It's gonna be a mixtape.
Gonna be a Kill Edward feature.
It's gonna be a drop a Kill Edward on that time.
Facts.
Nah, facts, bro. He gonna be Kill Edward. That's all he gonna do. He gonna jump back in as Kill Edward. He gonna drop a mixtape, and it's gonna be called the Warm Up 2. Or re-warming up. It's gonna be some alluding back to the mixtape days, and then we're gonna go from there. And it's gonna be like, ain't this cool, J. Cole? It's like, shh, he's doing something cool.
His next project is gonna be called Get Up.
Get
That's what he should have done instead of
it's
Port
gonna
Antonio.
be called what I would have did. See, what I would have
OJ
did.
OJ Buck.
Oh man.
If I did do it,
If I was see, but if I did, though, I did. But if I did, I already know, bro.
nah, that's funny as fuck. I think about that a lot, man. So I'm excited to see what he's got tuned in. I'm excited to see if we're actually gonna get this second JID album though, because
The guy doesn't like ugly one with Metro. I think he said. Yeah, yeah. I'm waiting on that. I'm still been waiting on that because I really love Jay's last album.
I liked it a lot. And it was funny. I think I had talked to you about it specifically when it came out. I was like, "Oh, how you feel about it?" And so now where we are, because that came out in August. Do you still
Yeah,
put the what was it, the Forever Story? You still put the Forever Story over that?
yeah, bro. Forever, Story, like it's some above Forever Story that year. To me, that was the album of the year. It didn't get. I don't know if it got nominated. I forgot. I think it did. But it's like that was album of the year. It wasn't even like no. Forever Story is so good. It's one of those. That's one of those like if people have never listened to albums in order, I would urge them to listen to Forever Story first, like straight up, especially coming off of Never Story. Yeah, but God Does Like Ugly is a top three Jid album. Is a top three Jid album. The raps, the beats, the flows. I feel like he built every artist dropped a like. I'm not gonna let y'all on no lyrical miracle shit, but I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, like even Kendrick did that. Like everybody kind of did that recently. Keem did that too with Casino. Like it's a lot. Casinos. We probably gonna get to that in a minute. We probably gonna get to that in a minute. I'm not gonna
Man,
lie,
let's go ahead and
bro.
flip channels
But
on that, bro. Casino. Bro,
yeah,
it's funny, like uh my homie and I were keeping up on it, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, he dropping a live stream." And I'm at work. I get off at 10 o'clock. The stream started at 10, and I'm sitting there in it for like 10 minutes. I'm like, I haven't heard a single fucking song started. I'm turning this shit off. And he was like, "No, bro, you got to jump back in. He performing. He doing this." I was like, "Man, I'm driving home, bro. I'll listen to the album at 11. That's an hour from now." I'm like, whatever. And like when it started, I think I was like washing dishes and shit like that. And I was like, okay. I was like, this feels spitting. Hold on.
bro.
And like just like cause honestly, the title track, Casino, my
Yes,
favorite
yeah,
one
bro.
right off the bat.
Off rip.
Bro,
That's my favorite one. That's my favorite one. Off rip. I was like, yeah, okay. Casino's the best track. Like
that one and
it,
House Money.
House Money. Yeah, both of those. I go back and forth with them every day.
I literally found myself just like I'll be walking around the house like sweeping the floor. I smell something. Bro, like even just like with Casino, what did you have any expectations going to the casino?
I did it because okay, the way I listened to Baby King, I forgot. I think it was like 2020, and I had time to actually catch up on music and catch up on artists. So I was like, all right. I even posted on like my story because on like the spam stories, I'll post music with music every now and then.
Right.
And I was like, all right, let me give King a chance. I went all the way back to like I don't know if it was the self-titled track or the one before Dawson. I went all the way back to that one. I was like, okay, it's got some stuff on here. I fuck with it. I was like, he make Rager dumb nigga music. All right. Then I got the doc in my bitch. And I was like, okay, hold on. Cause I heard sex and I was like, I was texting my people like, hey, hold on, bro. I didn't know he was like this.
He literally woke up at 6 in the morning. He said, "Hey, I'm gonna send you an audio message. Check your phone. Don't put it on speaker. And you play it. Small hoe, take a picture with me."
What you say? First things first, but
I'm like,
get your hoe first. I'm gonna fucking listen to that whole again.
I love that album, fool. Like when I first
Even
heard
even
that,
on No Security, it was like when I was dying for my bitch, my mom was. I was like, see, nah, see, you know that shit hard too.
yeah,
Die
bro.
for my bitch changed everything from. Then I heard Melodic Blue after that, and I was like, the intro on that joint too. I forgot what it was called, but that pulled me in really fast. I was like, all right, bro, all right. So with Casino, I wasn't having like high expectations, but I was expecting King to drop. King. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't expecting King to drop his Good Kid, Mad City. his Forest Hills Drive, his This Is Me, and This Is How It. Because this is the first time I feel like I've gotten to know King.
I'm with you.
Like, and did you watch the
I
documentaries?
did.
Yeah. I listened to the album, watched the documentaries, and then listened to the album again. Like, it definitely one of those things to where it's like Casino going into it with no expectations. I am pleasantly surprised. It's actually between that and the J. Cole joint, I've been listening to that one just a bit more.
You and me
Like,
both.
yeah, they they both did their thing, but for some reason, King did the thing that I wanted Cole to do, where it's like less is more. You got 11 tracks on the album. One of my favorite albums. It's depressing as fuck, but I don't like shit. I don't go outside by Earl Sweatshirt. That's one of my favorite albums. That's a short ass album, bro. The short albums are always the most replayable.
That's a fact.
So Casino, yeah, that's probably my album of the year right now. I'm not even gonna lie. Like he did his thing with it because it's not even the two favorites, House Money, Casino. Both of those, I go back and forth like, nah, this the best song. Nah, this the best song. But it's so many other good ones on there that just kind of like bring you back down. The highs and lows of the Casino. Highway 95, that's probably my third favorite. I am not a lyricist.
Bro.
I am not. Bro turned into Andre 3000.
Literally.
And I've been listening to a lot of Outkast lately. So I'm like, okay.
That's why I love that song with Erica Badu on the Fall Off, bro. I love Outkast. Me and you. That's one of my favorite Outkast songs.
I'm surprised that he called back to so many. Nah, think about it now. If that is Cole's retirement album or whatever he's trying to present it as, him calling back to like 7, 8 different songs, I could actually see that too. Yeah.
I'm with you, bro. And I feel like with Casino, I think, kind of like you said, the whole less is more concept. Like, just like thinking about how that album is literally like 35 minutes in total, front to back. So it's like, you literally like, think about it. How many TV shows aren't even a 35-minute episode? Like, how quickly are you like really running through it? So
Bro, 30 minutes.
in my opinion, bro, when you have a shorter project, and I'm not even saying like less songs, but just like
A shorter project.
a shorter project with shorter runtime, it gives you an opportunity to have more playback because it's like, wait a minute, it's over already. Let me run it back.
Let me go back and skip this. Yeah. You feel exhausted after listening to a long album. Don't get to the tracks you don't like, bro. I'll be sitting there like I'm not skipping this for the principle of it, but I mean I got like 5 left. You know what I'm saying? Like a shorter track does give more leeway. And now I think about it, it is like 30-something minutes on that. I think he picked that up off GNX. Because one thing about when GNX came out, I was like, oh, I got a 40-minute drive. Let me put GNX on right quick.
Bro, I was working. I work from home for my job. So when that album came out, I was seeing all the posts on Instagram. I was like, what is this talking about? Kendrick album. I was like, whatever. And I was just like minding my business. I was like, oh, GNX. Everybody was at the house that day. I don't even remember what was going on, but everybody was there. I literally told my wife and my daughter, so I was like, everybody leave me alone. Both headphones are in. I'm about to listen to this album. And like, of course, you know how it is. You got girls at the house. They're, hey. I'm like, yes. And I'm like, damn, I gotta restart. I'll be like, nah, I gotta restart the album. I'm like, yeah, I'm on track 6, but I gotta start from number 1 now.
I gotta start over. I was in the middle of reincarnating and you just pulled me out of it.
Bro, literally. Literally, fool. I was like, nah, bro, we gotta restart this album. So it's like, I feel like that with Baby Keem, just with this album. And in all honesty, bro, whenever the whole tour dates were coming out, I was like, okay. I was like, there's a tour that rolls out before the album. I'm like, that's a little, I'm kind of on the fence when it comes to artists doing that. Like when they drop their tour before the project comes out, I'm like,
let it breathe.
Yeah, let's hold on.
You gotta let the project breathe and let people enjoy it.
Exactly. So then whenever the album came out, I was like, okay, now. I was like, I don't think I saw a Dallas date, but then I went back, I was like, oh, there is a Dallas date. Hold on now. Mm-hmm. And he's performing at one of my favorite concert venues, the Southside Ballroom. I love that spot. So I'm excited. I might go. I'm not 1,000%, but I might.
Depending on how much cheaper it's gonna be.
I saw it last night. At first, before the album came out, it was $85 for a ticket.
Oh, let me go and go. Be gone, go
I
right
said,
quick.
85. I'm like, here, take it. Take it.
Maybe we'll go to Southside Bar. Yeah.
Facts. Nah, I didn't even include her. I was like, hey man, I think I'm gonna take a trip. I think I'm gonna do it.
Going too fast, 150 on a dash, bitch keep up, please don't crash. That's 5-0 on your ass, don't get stuck. My shit blasting up, window tinted, can't get caught. My bitch